Facing a surging pandemic and struggling in the polls, President Trump today for the first time is suggesting the November election, just 96 days away, be postponed. Tweeting, with universal mail-in voting, 2020 will be the most inaccurate and fraudulent election in history. Warning it will be a great embarrassment to the USA. Delay the election until people can properly, securely, and safely vote?
I don't want to delay. I want to have the election. But I also don't want to have to wait for 3 months and then find out that the ballots are all missing and the election doesn't mean anything.
But the president has no power to delay a general election. The Constitution says it's up to Congress to set the date. And with Democrats controlling the House, that will not happen. There's also no evidence of widespread voter fraud due to mail-in balloting. President Trump's suggestion immediately dismissed even by top Republicans.
We'll cope with whatever the situation is and have the election on November 3rd as already scheduled.
No presidential election's ever been delayed, even for the Civil War or World War II. Democrats are accusing President Trump of trying to distract from the U.S. economy, just posting its worst drop on record, worried he's laying the groundwork not to accept the election's results.
Can you give a direct answer? You will accept the election?
I have to see. Look, I have to see. No, I'm not going to just say yes.
Meanwhile, one of the president's campaign allies, former pizza CEO and Republican presidential candidate Herman Cain, today lost his battle with coronavirus. The 74-year-old was hospitalized after attending President Trump's controversial indoor rally in Tulsa, but it's unclear where he contracted the virus. President Trump today remembering Cain as a powerful voice of freedom. Also tonight, President Trump was pressed whether he can assure people that schools will be safe if they reopen, something he's been pushing for weeks. The president did not convey confidence, responding with a question saying, "Can you assure anybody of anything?"
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.